recording. Show intro. The League Podcast. The League Podcast, Week 10. Another episode coming to you guys. What's up, everyone? Thanks for tuning in again. We have a very awesome special guest. Here we go.
Explosion!
I wonder how many of these kids we have in our league that don't know this song.
Does anyone know who LL Cool J is? Like,
they're like, oh, he's that.
he plays that cop on that show.
Right?
Come on, man.
Oh, man, LL Cool J, one of the originals.
Yeah, I had to reach for that one.
Yeah.
I was explaining to Topher, man, I picked that song out before the weekend. And then I'm looking at the matchup right now. Might have been a poor choice of song, but you know what? Fuck you, Paul. Fuck you very much.
So, Mr. Chris Song, welcome, sir.
What's up, guys? Thanks for having me, Topher.
No,
Sick
thank
setup.
you. Thank you for being here. Driving so far.
No,
it's
all
busy
good.
schedule.
Yeah,
Right.
man.
Glad
to be here.
How you been?
Busy. You know, it's been a fun couple months. You know, I don't know if I'm sure everyone here probably knows now, but you know, we're expecting a third kid in March, so
A boy.
Yeah, finally
Congratulations.
a boy. Thank you.
Did you guys choose a name yet? You guys have something in mind? No, not yet.
You know, not yet. We have a couple minds that we've thought of, but some of them either got vetoed by Christine or I vetoed the ones she's picked out.
CJ, Chris Jr.
That was up there.
Really?
I suggested I was going hard for Leon.
Leon.
But when I
like
told her
Leon.
the spelling, she didn't appreciate it so much. I wanted to spell his name Lion, but you know, I figured he could grow up.
Lion, lion.
That's right.
Or Loin, loin.
Yeah, exactly.
I always get those two confused. I'm like lion, loin.
Yeah, that's that dyslexia. No, I don't know. I mean, we're still thinking about names. We figure we still have, what is it, November? Still got 4 months. So
Nice.
You know, we'll see.
So initially for this episode, we were trying to get 28-3, this mysterious 28-3, which happens to be Scott's song, which would be Chris Song's cousin. So we were gonna do a song episode, but due to technical difficulties, we couldn't really get the mixer and like the Skype thing to work, which I will have to figure out by this week, because next week we have to get this set up, right?
Right,
Because
JB.
next week it's gonna be JB,
Yeah,
right?
man.
JB is in New Jersey, is that right?
He's in I think he's in New York.
New York,
Maybe
like in the-
border of like New York and New Jersey. I know he
Okay.
moved not too long ago. I'm not sure where he's at now. I think he's right, you know, he's right in that giant territory.
Okay, so as still East Coast, right? I'm not
Yeah,
gonna
yeah,
be
still
like-
East
okay.
Coast. Yeah.
Because I guess Scott's in San Francisco.
Yeah,
right
man,
now.
Scott. I didn't realize this until I texted him, and he said he's in San Francisco for vacation.
Oh, nice.
So he was gonna try to Skype in, but you know, he
Yeah.
said it's all good. He'll catch us next time. So
yeah,
sorry
yeah.
about that, Scott.
I'm gonna have to probably do just a Skype episode with him.
Yeah.
So yeah, sorry about that, Scott. We appreciate you trying to get this working.
Yeah.
I mean, if Scott was on here right now, I was gonna let him kind of just do a little
Man.
a boasting show.
You don't wanna give him that.
Scott is a avid Boston fan, sports
Correct.
fan. He's a big fan of the Patriots, the Cheaters, right?
That's right.
The Boston Red Sox,
Red Sox, fucking
Celtics,
Penguin, not Sox, but
Bruins,
Bruins,
right.
you know,
And
fuck 'em
obviously,
all.
big World Series champ.
Yeah, I didn't even text him. I was like, I don't even want to hear his response.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah, man, 10 years ago. I mean, because Scott, just to preface, I guess, the future episode, he's OG in this league, right?
He's been here for a while. I don't know when he started.
I think he started from the beginning, because it wasn't a Scott and David for like 3 years or
That's
so.
right. I guess when the
Right.
trophy got introduced. Yeah.
Right. So,
sure.
you know, I hated Scott at that time because he was a
Yeah.
Patriots fan and everything was just going well for him.
Yeah.
The Celtics, I think, like were like oh man, it was just like
Yeah.
unbearable. It was just bad.
But it was so satisfying to see him get second place, like runner up 2 years in a row. Was it 2 years or 3 years? 2 years?
I think it was 2 years. I don't know if he
man.
went against David the third. I don't know,
Yeah.
but still, and still champion list, right? He hasn't won in this league. I don't
Nah,
think.
he hasn't won yet.
Wow.
Yeah.
But we'll get more into that when we have him on our episode. But this week, Chris, it's on you. Let's talk about
Yes,
your fantasy experience, sir, and how you're doing this year.
All right. So I started off slow. You know what I mean? Like, I even from my first pick, it was a struggle because it was like, do I pick up Le'Veon? Do I not? Do I pick up Le'Veon? Do I not? And it was like 10 seconds left. And it was like, fuck it, let's go Zeke. I'm glad I made that pick.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I wish I had the foresight that David had in picking up James Conner early on. Like, I didn't even think to look up the backup, but you know, that was all, you know, here and there. But you know, I think after the draft, I was like, you know, I give myself maybe like a C. It wasn't good, wasn't great, wasn't terrible, but I think I made a couple trades. Actually, no, I think I only made one trade really, and that was huge for me picking up James Conner.
Yes.
But
Well, what was that trade? Do you know?
I gave him Edelman. I gave David Edelman.
Ooh.
And I picked up Edelman late because no one wanted him because he was out for 4 weeks.
Right.
But I was like, you know, that's Brady's dude. You know, when he comes back week 5, he's gonna blow up.
Yep.
So
Definitely one of those, like, you know, always pick up Patriot receivers, right?
And so I think I sold him off to David week 4 the week before he came back.
Great move.
But I think maybe it was a little too late for me because I think at that point I was 1-3.
Uh-huh.
And so, you know, I'm trying to come back.
Your team looks solid. I mean, again, right now, tough.
Yeah, you know, I got
tough,
unlucky against a lucky ass team.
Right, 173. Oh man. But yeah, your team looked really, really solid.
Yeah, I mean, I thought I was gonna go on a little run, and then you know, this week hit a little roadblock, but you know,
3-5. It's not. You're not out yet. I don't think.
I think
a long shot, maybe.
Yeah, it's a long shot. But I think seeing, like, let's see, Scott is probably gonna lose this week, so that'll help.
Yep.
You know, I might be able to jump over him. You know, unfortunately, I don't know how the fuck David Jang won this week. That's terrible.
Oh wow, you're right.
But yeah, I don't know. It's a long shot, but right now I'm just gonna do whatever I can.
Golden
see
Tate,
if I can make the playoffs.
I mean, hopefully, me beating Gita would help you out as well.
Yeah, that'll help.
Yeah.
Him and I have the same record.
Yeah.
You know, my goal is to get into 6th place in the next 4 weeks, and if I can do that, I think I have a decent chance at least making a little bit of a run.
See, I feel opposite because I feel like I'll get into the playoffs.
Yeah.
But once I get into the playoffs, I'm not really confident with my team.
Yeah, man, your team looked pretty solid, and then I was looking, and I was like, man, what happened?
I started getting, you know, I had all these players on dysfunctional teams.
That's right.
Giant Jaguars. It's just like, what do I do with all them? You know, even Chris Godwin. It's like they went through fucking.
Well,
this
they went
carousel of
too many changes there.
Oh man. Anyways, you want to talk about your fantasy history as far as like how long you've been playing, how serious you are?
Yeah, you know, so I actually forgot when I started. I knew I played in college with my college friends when I was in Philly.
Drexel.
At Drexel.
Yeah.
So that's when I first played fantasy for the first time. That was probably like 2004, 2005.
God damn.
But then I was able to go back to like my my history within like the church leagues, like the dudes, like the older heads with the SAK league.
With Ted Young and Andy, Jay.
And then I started, when was that? Was that 2000? I think that was 2008 I started.
Do you think if we restarted that league and did what we did here, like how interesting that would be.
It would be really interesting. I think everybody in that league is super committed.
I
They have a
think
lot of football knowledge.
I mean, if Ted Young hears it, then so be it. But I think the biggest issue is like people were like kind of getting fed up with like playing with Ted, right? He was serious.
Yeah, I think that's
like, every
what happened.
like rule like kind of. It would probably be a very hard job to be a commissioner for a league.
And in that year, in that league, it was a little different where
the winner had to be the commissioner.
The winner was the commissioner. It wasn't a steady, crooked commissioner like we have here with Paul. Like at least there was some change. And here, in this league, we're stuck with this guy
who cheats.
Number one pick. How many times? I don't know. It's fucking crazy. But sorry, Paul. Thanks for everything you do. But anyways, it could be interesting. Like I've talked to some of the guys that were in that league, and we've thought about reviving it, but playing it a little differently. Where, rather than playing for a champion at the end of the year, you're playing on a week-to-week basis. So it's basically you're getting rewarded for having the highest score at the end of each week. So the buy-in's going to be a little bit more, but the payout after each week is like, instead of like $10 like we're getting here, you get like $100, $150. And it's
the buy-in would be freaking expensive.
It would be a lot, yeah.
Like $1,000 buy-in.
If you have 12 people, it might be like $200, maybe. I don't know what to pay. I don't know. But so we've had that discussion, but I don't know if it's going to happen. But I started with them 2008, and I think I started with this league in 2012. And then I looked at my record, and it's
2012. Were you not in the like original?
So I'm not sure when. I don't know when it started. When this?
I thought you were. I thought you were originals, but
I'll have to take a look. I don't remember. Let's see. First year with the league was 2012. So yeah, if the league started before that, then
does it tell you who won in that league?
So I can't open up the at least
on the phone. You mean it's a little weird, right?
Yeah, I can't open up that year. But that year I got 6th, and I think that's kind of been the storyline of my fantasy career. It's been like,
yeah, I it's very hard to see you at the bottom, but not at the top either.
Yeah, I've been like 4th. I remember one year I was gunning for that championship, and I remember I had fucking Chad Johnson, and in I think it was the semis, he scored 0 points. And then that lost me the game. And then otherwise, I think I looked at the scores. I would have won that year if he would have scored like 6 points or something. So, anyways, I don't want to say I don't want to say I've been unlucky for the past 10 years. Obviously some of it comes down to like you got to make the right moves at the right time and all that. But
the more I'll say this right now, just by doing this podcast, I've become a better fantasy player. And I say that because, one, I kind of interview or talk to everyone about like their strategy or whatever, which, some I agree with, some I don't. But more so, I've been listening to a lot of other fantasy football
You're forced to follow football like
right, because I have to talk about it, right?
Right.
So, but then not even just about like keeping up. It's like for example, something that one of the podcasts we're talking about is like if you have like a running back that's starting on Thursday, who plays is Carolina and
Pittsburgh,
Steelers, right? So for you would start James Conner at the running back, right?
Right.
Instead of keeping him flex, because
for sure,
right, because that way you get you come Sunday you have a little bit more flexibility, and these are things I didn't think about. Sometimes I would be like, oh, he's in the flex position, and great, right?
That's an interesting point because I was surprised last year that you won first. Only because before that year, I think you were the guy that everyone was like, "Oh, you're playing Topher. Oh, you got this." And not because your team was terrible, but because I think you just like you were busy, you had things to do. people always say, "Hey, Topher, set up your lineup. Set up your lineup."
Yeah.
And so when he won, I was like, "Damn, Topher won." It's like, oh shit. But
Well,
you know,
I guess first of all, Paul would always be like
Right.
texting me,
I remember
emailing
that.
me, right? But for me, it was just like I set my lineup at like Thursday morning when
Right.
I know like I'm not the one to like. Nah, at that time I wasn't the one to like put like this guy in, and it's like, oh, now that my projected points are this, and what if
Yeah.
I put this guy? I was just like, okay, come right before Thursday, before the game, I'll look and be like, okay, these are the best people to start, and that's what I did.
Yeah.
I think people have to realize, that I run a coffee shop, so it's not like I don't
Right.
have a desk job where I can sit here and kind of like. So for me, if
Right.
I had to do it, like it's like I pull out my phone,
Yeah.
get on the app, and I briefly, so I don't have a lot of time, but I also didn't take it as seriously, and
Yeah.
I wasn't as good, I think I probably
Yeah.
drafted Joe Flacco maybe like at
Oh yeah, that's the
least
other
two or
thing. You
three-
always drafted the Ravens.
exactly.
But I mean, then maybe we save this for later in the podcast. And I think you might have touched on this last week or maybe 2 weeks ago. But I think with the birth of like Bleacher Report, ESPN notifications, just the cell phone in general, like everyone's getting the same news at the same time.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter like if you're really into it or not. You're going to get the notification on your phone as soon as something happens. And that's kind of a disadvantage to those people who really like read up on this stuff, follow it. They know what to look for. Cuz like just 5 years ago I would say like
It would
you got to do your research.
right.
You got to come
You
to
would
these
know
drafts like knowing shit.
yeah, absolutely.
But like these days it's like everyone's getting the same exact news at the same exact time. And so when it comes Tuesday night, Wednesday, like 2 a.m, everyone's going for the same guys. So it's like,
and then not only that, then there's people like us who have family, kids,
Right.
and things like that, where instead you got David like talking to everyone about trades, right?
That's
We
true.
could be doing that too,
yeah,
but we don't
we
have
got
the
time for that. I mean, like, I think the only football games I watch are the night games, after the babies
Right.
are asleep.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, yesterday, even yesterday, I was able to watch some of the Patriots game, but
Right.
I fell asleep after the first
Yeah,
half.
yeah.
It's like,
So do you watch like Sunday, like throughout the day, like games or
fuck no.
no?
Like, I don't remember the last time I would have, like, just the time to sit there and just sit in front of the TV and just watch football all day. Like, that was probably 3-4 years ago. Because, I mean, it's like,
even with the kids around, you wouldn't just like
I mean, you could do it, but then, you see, in your peripheral, you see your wife, and she's like, this motherfucker ain't
Yes,
doing
man.
shit.
Man, Carol can't listen to this because that's
Yeah,
she's like every Sunday. You just
yeah. Like, you try to get it in when you can, but I mean, it's tough.
she won't even let you watch the Ravens game.
No, she'll let me watch the Ravens. I mean,
Okay.
if I can, I'll watch the Ravens game whenever I can. But I mean, she wouldn't mind me sitting there watching a game.
Right.
But to sit there from 1:00
yeah.
to 11:00 watching football, man, there ain't no way.
Yeah.
And it's like, I know last week, Jungo, this man talking about Mr. Pro Scout with his eye test. I mean, you can watch highlights and stuff, but is that really like a sixth sense that he has? And he's like, that's his skill. That's why he's up there. I don't know. I mean, I think he admitted it, and I agree with him 100%. Like, picking up Mahomes, it's lucky, man.
Visionary or luck? I think that's what he called it.
I would say 50-50. I mean, like, honestly, I didn't know who the fuck Mahomes was. Like, I didn't watch any preseason. Who the fuck follows the Chiefs? You know what I mean?
Right.
Mahomes, I'm like, all right, whatever. And then,
But he did that last year with Deshaun Watson too. So
Right,
That,
right. That's why I think
sense,
part
is
of
it
it's there.
Sense, or is it like, and maybe I'm misunderstanding you, but it's not. I think he's just saying he likes to just see how the player plays, and if he likes, like, if he thinks that player is good,
Right.
then that's what he goes for.
I think what I'm saying is that's great and all, but I think everyone does the same thing. They all watch. If anyone can sit there and watch football, they're gonna see like, all right, like just on Sunday, this fucking not Sunday, Thursday. Who's that fucking 49ers quarterback that came in?
Mullins.
And
right?
he targeted Garcon how many times? It's like, all right, well, if this guy's going to be the quarterback, Garcon's his guy. Like, you can see that rapport with the quarterback and a receiver. Like, he's comfortable.
Who's that Garcon?
I have no idea. But like when Steve Smith was with the Ravens, that was Flacco's guy. Like, he'll go up and catch anything. When Anquan Bolden was with the Ravens, that was his guy. So like.
But I think the league, the league as in like NFL is changing in the sense that you don't see too many of that anymore, right? Like I think like successful offenses don't have just the one guy. It's like you got AB, sure, that's a playmaker, but you got Juju Smith, you got like everyone has to contribute, right? And even in the running game, besides like people like
that fucks everyone up
like
now.
Todd Gurley, exactly, like Alvin Kamara, Mark Ingram, like even with the Ravens, like Alex Collins, Bucky Allen, like these committees, right? Which I guess makes sense in the league. Mm-hmm. But as fantasy, it just drives you fucking nuts.
It drives you nuts.
Right? Like because then, like, people like Todd Gurley or Saquon, these workhorses, these absolute monsters.
The worst is to see them get you to the 1 yard line and then see the other dude get the fucking quarterback. Get the touchdown. You're like, come on, man. Yeah. So I hear what you're saying. Like, I think like the league has changed a lot, especially in the past. When we you think when I started watching or playing fantasy, was that 2008, 10 years ago? It's so different now.
Yeah.
You got to draft it. You got to pick up. So it's fun to adapt to, and it's still fun to play. So
man,
being at the bottom.
Even if I don't win, as long as I'm not all the way at the bottom, and I have to get that trophy engraved, I'm okay. This just doing the whole podcast, this whole season's been pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's been a very fun season. Just hearing all the trash talk, having the podcast, something to listen to every week.
My wife is asking me every week when the last.
You should have her on as a guest one time.
Yeah,
see what she has to say.
Maybe for like a Topher talk.
There you go.
Let's see. Performances, matchups. So you did your picks this week, right?
Yeah. Now I feel kind of bad because I think I joned on David's picks for being so terrible, but I don't think I'm that far off.
Yeah. Let's take a look real quick. You chose between your matchup that you would win. That's
correct.
Not true,
that
right?
That is not gonna happen.
We got between Epic James and Hoons. You chose Hoons to win, and I think
Hoons is going to probably win.
Is this all set and done? Yep, it's already done.
That's done.
Hoons
all right, there you
So
go.
you got
1-1.
Gigabamas and 6 and 7. You chose Gigabama to win. Oh, there you go. Right? Did David? Yes. Did you see this?
Excellent. I saw your message yesterday. Is that true?
Look, Sonny Michelle out. Rob Consley out. Right? This.
Damn, JV, you're trying and you're still winning, dude.
This is the definition of daddy life, right?
There you go.
This is what happens when you go against dads, right? Right?
Oh man!
And yet you still lost, David, against It's just man, like
man, David, that's just terrible, man.
Yeah, Deshaun Jackson, Marquise Goodwin. Nick Chubb kind of had a good game. Yeah.
Sorry,
so
David.
you got that pick. Scott, 28-3, your cousin versus Juan and only.
Yes.
I think Juan lost.
I think Juan is barely up.
148.66 to 136.
Never mind. He crushed it.
He's got
is it done?
Amari Cooper on.
Who does? Scott.
Oh,
let's go, baby.
11.25. Yeah,
he's got a long way to go.
Yeah, that'll be crazy.
Yeah,
that would require. Dallas Cooper.
13 points. Was that like two more touchdowns? He's good.
Yeah,
I don't know.
It looks like you got that one wrong.
Yeah.
Who's fuck your mug?
This was a surprise. I did not expect blessed fuck your mug
Yeah.
to lose
against Rookie of the Year.
Rookie of the Year.
I'll take it. Give me some.
Jang, where you been, man? I haven't heard from you in a while. You still alive?
Yeah.
Is he still alive? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
I hope he's alive now.
I think that was one of the talking points with Chongwa. I don't know where he's been.
I mean, he's been silent.
Man, should I have him back? Because he was one of the earlier episodes.
Yeah.
He was just like, "Fuck you guys." Afterwards.
I know.
And then you chose me to win, which you correctly did so, because I think. Let's see what's this looking like. Cole Beasley with 0 points in the third quarter. This is looking great. This is looking fine. Although one touchdown, maybe a couple of yards.
There's still some time. You never know.
Yeah.
So what's that, like 3-3?
Yeah.
Right.
You didn't do too bad.
I mean, it's better than David. That's all I can ask for.
Let's see. What else do we have to talk about the league? We have the fantasy deadline.
Oh, that's right. Was that next week?
The 10th. This week.
Shit.
That's that's this week. It's been pretty quiet.
It has been.
What's going on? I know you've been.
I think it's like, man, it's like, you can throw up a trade all you want, but it's just getting rejected left and right. Like, at least for me, at least. I mean, I do want to clear the air on the one trade with Kerryon Johnson and Allen Robinson. So let me just say this. All right. So what was it? That was probably like week 5, week 6. James is offering me Allen Robinson for Kerryon Johnson. And at the time, if you look back at Kerryon's his stats, I mean, it was no good. He was averaging maybe like 8-9 touches a game. He was getting like 4 or 5 points.
Yeah.
I was like, fuck that. I'll get rid of his ass for another receiver. And I was like, well, while I'm at it, let me try to get Tucker, because at the time my kickers were getting like 0 points, 1 point. I was like, I could take another kicker and just give me a chance. And then I heard the podcast with David. I understand what happened there. So you know what? Like, thank you, David. Thank you, James, for not letting that go through.
Right.
I'm glad it didn't.
Because Kerryon Johnson's been picking it up, right?
He's been. I mean, he at best he's been inconsistent. Like some weeks he'll put up the numbers, and some weeks, like. Are
you playing him, or are you keeping him bench most of the time?
I played him this week. He was my flex.
How do you do?
6 points.
6 points.
Solid 6 points. Fucking guy. I mean,
I think Miami's also one of those teams where it's just like it's a dysfunctional team,
right? And I had a bunch of guys on bye, so I was like, I didn't really have a choice.
Yeah.
But I'm glad it didn't go through. I think last week I brought it up, but that was purely as a joke. I mean, I don't want no Allen Robinson no more. I'll take Tucker still if you want to trade kickers. I'll give you my kicker for him. But otherwise,
man. Yeah. So I mean, not much to talk about that. Not much to talk about this, I guess, portion of the podcast.
Yeah, there hasn't been any trades at all.
Much.
But
there is a deadline
I got
coming.
a trade I'm gonna send your way. He sent me a proposal last week, and I'm thinking about it. So
okay, all right,
you guys
we're looking forward to that.
On the Cacao
me too. I mean, I know I've said Saquon.
Yeah.
I'm taking considerations, like serious considerations.
What are you looking for? You looking for receivers?
I think I need like a sure receiver. Like my receivers right now are just like hit or miss, right? So, you know what? If it was like Evans. If it was a sure receiver and a sure running back, man! If you did a James Conner and Mike Evans, I might trade him. That I would consider that, like, because right now I need a running back. Obviously, someone that's not going to be Saquon, but something that's a little bit more RB, like high RB2 or something, low RB1, and then a receiver maybe. Well, I mean,
yeah. Hey, you should go for Des Bryant, man. We were talking about that earlier. He's working out with the Saints right now.
Yeah, my problem right now is that I have too many, people
backs?
from like weird, like Sterling Shepard. It's like, come on.
Yeah.
Anyways, Okay, so let's kind of go on. Let's go into our the actual football news.
All right.
Which not too much to talk about here in the sense
Yeah,
because
last week was big.
the trade deadline has
Right.
happened, right? We kind of see things play out.
Yeah.
Were you surprised to see that Ty Montgomery didn't play at all? I guess
Not
probably
really.
right?
You know, like, was he injured? They just chose not to play
Yeah, he
him.
probably just wasn't ready.
Yeah, I
and
mean
stuff.
that's fine.
I mean, we could talk about that. Big Ravens fan, both of us here.
Terrible
loss.
loss.
Yeah, oh, man.
I did not expect that. I mean, I thought it would be
Actually, I expected us to lose.
to lose.
Man, like what happened to our fire, man?
Yeah,
What happened to that 11
but it
sack
always seems to
performance?
die out right around this time, anyways. Though like it seems like if they ever go on a hot streak, it dies out, and then they start to slowly pick it up again. If they're on a terrible streak,
Okay,
then,
but
it's
but against the Steelers,
yeah,
you know what I mean?
at home, yeah.
Man, when Ben Roethlisberger went out, I was like, okay, this is good.
Yeah, I don't know how they
Right.
let that scrub throw a fucking.
Like a
What was it,
25-yard.
third
I
and
don't know what the
22 or
fuck it
something?
was. And then Weddle looked up and he was like, it's like, yeah, that's exactly how we feel, Weddle. What the fuck were you doing?
Yeah.
Like what? You thought you were gonna be faster or something because you shaved your beard?
Yeah, I
The
saw
fuck?
that.
Man, so mad. Oh
Yeah.
gosh,
It was bad. I mean, it was. We let Connor run all over us. Fucking, it wasn't pretty.
Yeah.
So.
No.
I don't know. I mean, next week they have. Who are they playing this week?
Next week is a bye,
Okay,
and then we have the Bengals.
that's gonna be.
But
hopefully AJ Green's still out then. We
Man,
don't wanna
we'll
fuck
see.
with that guy.
The problem is we're playing against some tough teams. They
Yeah.
don't. We still haven't played the Chiefs yet.
That's scary.
Oh my gosh.
I'm trying to look at their schedule real quick.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's gonna be. I don't even. I mean, we're done.
Other news: Redskins losing to the Falcons.
Yeah.
Right. So this is what I always do. It's like, did the Ravens win? Did the Steelers win? Did the Redskins win? And then all the other teams I don't really care about. Right.
Right.
And they did. Matt Ryan.
Yeah.
Doing Matt Ryan things, man.
I was playing against Matt Ryan. He fucking torched me.
Yep. Matt
37
Ryan's
points.
always.
Fuck you.
Yep.
But the Redskins gave up Julio's first touchdown of the year. Like, I wonder how they feel about that.
Is
like
that
they were
true
the team
though? I read
Yeah.
that.
since
was like, is that-
2017. That's his first touchdown.
Julio Jones, really?
Yeah.
So this man has been putting up those kind of numbers without scoring touchdowns. That's
right.
crazy.
And the Falcons were putting up those numbers without Julio too. Like
That's
they've been
crazy.
scoring the points.
Yeah.
They've been
Except
putting up numbers.
Austin Hooper really didn't do much. What the fuck did you do, Austin Hooper? 6.35. Fucking guy.
It's Austin Hooper.
Drew Brees and the Saints taking down the
That was impressive. I
undefeated
didn't see the game, but I saw the highlights.
man.
There was a lot of highlights from that game.
39.44.
Yeah.
Drew Brees. Thank you, Drew Brees. Thank you. Thank you.
That's your saving grace right there.
Yeah.
He's
man.
automatic.
No, not I didn't start him when he played against the Ravens. And
Oh.
I had Jameis Winston for the following week.
See that I remember you calling Jameis Winston one time.
But the thing is, so I had him when Drew Brees was on bye and he blew up, right? And then Drew Brees came back and played the Ravens, right? And I was like, you know what? I don't like that. So I benched Drew Brees and then I started Jameis Winston. And Jameis Winston scored more points. It was not by much. It was like 4 points or something, right? But it was the right move. Yeah. And then I got rid of Jameis Winston because
who picked him up? Someone picked him up.
Hootie picked him up.
I was like, "Come on, Hootie!"
Because I'm never gonna at that point start Drew Brees over or Jameis over Drew Brees. Yeah. I needed a roster spot to pick up someone, so I dropped him, and then Hootie picked him up.
Did Hootie play him the week that he got benched?
He did.
Oh man!
And I don't know if he won, but who cares? What other news? Did you hear about Bruce Arians?
I saw the headline about him wanting to be if he was ever to come back, he would be the Cleveland coach.
He would as a Cleveland coach.
Right.
What do you think?
I don't understand why anyone would ever want to go to Cleveland. Because first of all, you gotta live in Cleveland.
I disagree. Oh, okay. Well, go ahead.
Number two, it's like it's like you got to go hard. You got to start winning games. You're out. Like they don't give you much time to like fuck around.
I think I actually agree because I think as far as you know geographically locations all that side, I think they're a team that's just like one click away.
Yeah.
To be
They showed
real
sparks,
contenders.
man.
Their
their
defense is really good, and
Yeah.
and once Baker Mayfield kind of matures, they get a little bit more pieces.
Yeah.
I think they're gonna be a really good team, and why not? Why not want to be a coach that
But
that becomes known to turn around the
Right.
franchise, right?
But I feel like that's been the story for the Browns every year. Like it's like this is gonna be the year where they do okay, and then this year like the first couple games
That's
they've
gonna be
been
like
looking
Oakland
okay.
now, right?
Yeah, I mean it's.
Oakland, man, they're just
I don't know
clucking.
how Derek Carr got hyped up so much so
It was
fast.
that year when they beat us, and he just had a
Yeah.
really good year.
He just went on. He had a few good games, but I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I don't. I mean, if Bruce Arians wants to go there and try to tackle that kind of job. That's on him. But I don't know why anyone would want to go there. I mean, I look at that whole trade with what's the dude that went to L.A. Fowler.
Yeah, Fowler. Yep.
That's awesome, man. You go fucking move to LA to this super mega team,
Oh man,
and it's like,
it's like Manny Machado. Oh,
yeah,
God damn.
R.I.P. man, R.I.P. Orioles.
It's a very sad time to be a freaking Baltimore
I
fan right now.
It's terrible.
Speaking of like Scott, like it's a great time to be a Boston fan. It's
Yeah.
always a great time to be a Boston
Yeah.
fan. They're winning everything. It's fucking annoying.
I hate them. I hate them so much.
Yeah.
More than just like the players. Like, I actually respect Brady. Like he is the man. Like he will fuck people up. But I
Look,
just hate Boston fans.
It
man.
just doesn't make sense how this guy is getting old. Like he's getting Peyton Manning old. He's getting
Right.
Brett Favre old, and he's not losing a step.
Did you
like-
watch that whole Facebook documentary on Brady?
I did not.
There was like a 6 docuseries.
Oh
or
yeah,
something.
I heard of it, but I did not. What was it?
I mean, it gives
Interesting.
you some insight into like why he's so successful at his age. I mean, the dude is. I mean, he doesn't eat. He eats so healthy. He takes care of his body. I mean, he probably gets a workout from his wife, every day. I mean, shit. I mean, you can work her out all day, every day, and you're gonna be in shape. Like
In his Uggs.
in his Uggs. I mean, his feet aren't gonna get cold. He doesn't get sick. Fuck that guy.
Man, I hate Brady. Yeah.
Yeah.
Any other news?
I don't know. There's not much news to really follow up on. The only news that I saw come through today that is like, it might just be hype is the whole Le'Veon tweet. All he said
Right.
was farewell
Going-
Miami.
Going to the Bell talk, huh? Fucking Bell.
We had this conversation a little before we started the podcast,
Yeah.
but I think both of us thought from last week that if he did not show up this week, he could not be a free agent next year. But apparently that's not the case. It seems like whether he shows up or not, he's a free agent next year. And I mean, if he shows up by Tuesday next week, he's eligible to play. But if he doesn't show up, he can't play for the rest of the year. But doesn't mean he can't be a free agent next year. And like going back to the beginning for why he decided to sit out for the first whatever, it's like I think he wanted to save his body for that long-term contract. And like he wanted to preserve himself, make sure he doesn't get hurt, and all that shit. But at this point, he's already foregoed so much money. What's the point of coming back and playing for 6 weeks for a couple $1 million?
Yeah.
You might as well rest the rest of the season and then come back next year with a new team. Because I don't know. I don't think the Steelers are going to pick him up.
Oh,
I mean,
no. I don't know. There's no
Like
like
James
even-
Conner's playing lights out.
Can you imagine like if he did come back. He says,
What's that gonna look like?
farewell Miami.
Right.
He goes back to the thing. Like, exactly. What's that gonna look like? What is Mike Tomlin gonna say? It's like, oh man, we missed you. Come back. Like he'd be like, you little fucker. Like how would any Steelers want him on that team?
That's
you know
right.
what I mean?
For a position where you're so dependent on your O-line to have your back,
Yeah.
as I can't imagine that he's gonna go back there and his guys are gonna be like, oh yeah, we got you, bruh. Like, there's no way. Like,
Whoa, so it says, okay, so what you were saying, Bell does not have to report to the Steelers by a certain date to get an accrued season to become eligible for free agency, contrary to what ESPN and others previously reported.
that's right.
Bell already has played the 4+ seasons he needed to become, so basically he's saying he's already, okay,
Right.
interesting.
So he doesn't have to play this year to become a free agent.
Wow.
And even if he does come back, I was watching ESPN earlier because I was like, I got to prepare for this podcast. I got to watch as much Sports Center as I can. I was watching it in the car on the way to work.
Was in the corner of your eye, your mother, your wife?
I had on my phone the whole time. I was like, shit, I gotta watch all this shit. I gotta follow Bleacher Report, every single headline. That's why I knew about the Bruce Arians thing. I was like, I saw the headline. I was like, I should probably read up on that. Topher might ask something about that. But like,
no, if even if you don't know about it, the whole idea is that you just give your opinion.
Yeah, like I think for the reason that he sat out in the beginning of the season, it doesn't make sense for him to come back now.
Yeah.
Like, why would he? Like, if he's already foregoed that much money obviously is not an issue for him right now. He's looking for that long-term deal. If he comes back now, like, the Steelers are going to be like, we don't really need you right now.
Yeah.
Like, James Conner is filling your shoes. And it's not like it was like 3-4 weeks that they saw James Conner play, and he's like, oh, he's doing pretty okay. It's been 9 weeks now, and he's been solid.
I'm sure you've heard me talk ad nauseum in the previous episodes of what I felt like the situation would happen with Le'Veon Bell, that he would come back and that James Conner would not be starting, and that Le'Veon Bell would be this workhorse where they just work him to death. But the more I think about it now, one, if he comes back, that would be kind of surprising in its own. But if he does, I don't know if the Steelers will start him. Yeah. I think they, man, I don't know about cut ties, but I feel like he would just sit on the sideline and it would be like everyone would just like pretend he's not there.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not, I've never been in a professional football locker room. I don't know how these things are. But I don't know. In my opinion, if it was me, I'd be like, "Fuck this guy. He's not on my team. He can sit here all he wants." But I'm just gonna ignore this.
That's right.
So
and I think it's interesting because I think him sitting out for this long and seeing James Conner, who no one really knew before the season, blow up like he has.
Yeah.
It's like, is it really Le'Veon Bell being that good, or is it his O-line being that good?
We had this. I think I had this conversation with, was it Joel? Maybe
I think so.
Juan?
Maybe.
I don't know who it was, but yeah, I think he's good.
I mean, he's good. He's solid. He'll go to another team, and I'm sure he'll produce. But
we'll have this conversation again actually when Gita's on the episode.
There you go. You need a Steelers fan.
Well, it's not even that, but I've had this conversation with him multiple times, and he says like he thinks he's the best running back, just because.
But that's a little biased, this guy.
I guess he saw some sort of documentary about like how Le'Veon Bell likes to play chess, I think, and he's like really into that. And the documentary was saying like his talent is not in making like these like football plays. It's like being able to read like moves ahead. So it's like that's why he's such a patient runner. He sees like how the play blocks are developing, and he figures out like what the best move is. Right now, is that true? I don't know. You watch, and
I'll tell you this, right? If there was a documentary on the O-line.
This is all he does. He like stays behind the running back, and then just waits, and then he just gets 7 yards. It's crazy. But
he's able to be that patient though, because the O-line can hold off for that long. You know what I mean?
But
Like,
the thing is, it's not like so. Like blocking is you run in,
yeah,
you like engage the defenders,
right,
and you try to create lanes, right?
right.
But they don't even need a run block. They just need a pass block. They just need to like kind of hold up the defender so that
Right.
way these lanes open up and he gets to choose which one he wants to take. That's what makes him so crazy good.
But could another? I mean, James Conner, he's producing just fine. I mean, would you say that James Conner is the greatest?
He's more of a, like no. I think the Steeler line is very good, and I think they're both probably a product of the quality of the line. But I think when it comes to just talent, I think Le'Veon is just talented, more talented.
Yeah.
He's
We'll have to see. I mean, it'll be interesting to see. I don't know.
Yeah.
I honestly don't know. I mean, I don't. I've seen Le'Veon play plenty. I've seen James Conner play now plenty. But
yeah.
you know, like it's. I think Le'Veon hurt his value by sitting out this long and letting everyone see that the Steelers can win without him.
Yeah, but if he goes into a team that needs running back,
Oh, for sure. I mean,
Oh
I'm
my
sure
God.
teams are gonna
look. I mean, if Ravens picked him up,
Hell yeah, I'll be like, welcome,
yes,
open arms,
exactly,
like
exactly.
welcome.
And then you'd be like, okay, this guy's the best running back.
Yeah, I you're probably right. Like it's like right now it's just. I think that's the debate. I think.
Oh
that
God,
people
that'd
are
be
having,
crazy
you know?
if we picked him up. That would be nuts.
Yeah, it would be nuts.
Could you imagine and not even just fucking bench Joe Flacco and just go Lamar Jackson and Le'Veon Bell?
That would be that would be an interesting offense to
man.
follow.
That'd be crazy. Just a wildcat.
I'm not a
pistol
huge
formation.
Lamar Jackson fan right now, but yeah,
He's
it would
better
it would
than
be
Joe
fun to watch.
Flacco.
Yeah, it
He's
would be
better
fun to
than Joe
watch.
Flacco.
It would be a lot of fun to watch.
I mean, I'm starting to think Joe Flacco needs to go.
Well, ever since he got that money, I mean, he's like, fuck, I'm getting paid whatever.
Yep. No, Chuck
So-
Pagano is an option. Did you know? I took a class with Chuck Pagano's daughter.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Where at UMBC?
Actually, at HGC. This was before I finished. I
Oh,
was
shit.
working full time and taking classes
She
part time.
hot?
She was like a freshman, so she was probably like
Nice.
I don't know, like 19. So I didn't really look at her like that.
Uh-huh.
She's a cute girl.
Yeah,
but
I'm
she was. We did like some projects together, and I was just like, I was taking notes. And I was like, Tori, what's your last name? And she was like Pagano, and I was like, oh, like Chuck Pagano. She's like, yeah, that's my dad. I was like,
shit.
no way. This was the year that we won the Super Bowl.
Damn, that's
right?
nuts.
No, wait. Was it? We didn't win the Super Bowl with Chuck Pagano. It was the year before. This was the Cundiff. This was the wide left.
I was at that game.
That was that.
Fuck you, Patriots.
Yeah, that was that. And then because we had such a great defense that year,
Yeah.
but then wide left. And then he got the head coaching job at Indianapolis. They moved
I don't really blame that year on Cundiff though. I blame that year
on
fucking Lee Evans.
Lee Evans. Yep.
Right through his fucking hands.
Yeah, but Cundiff, man.
Yeah, he should have made that.
Man. And then that loss to the Saints with the missed field goal this year. No, the extra point.
Oh God, I didn't watch that game,
Oh man.
but I saw the highlights and yeah.
Let me tell you this. I don't like to be negative around my son, but the Ravens aren't helping, man. The
Yeah.
Ravens are not helping. Although, because of me watching football, he's learned how to do touchdown.
Oh yeah, I
Well,
saw that, man.
he-
Super cute.
Yeah, he doesn't say touchdown, but he just
Yeah. Super cute, man.
Let's see. Other football news. Last night's game between the greats, the goats, Aaron Rodgers,
I was
Tom
expecting more.
Brady. Actually, I wasn't.
No.
I wasn't. The Patriots are just a better team.
Yeah.
They are. I
Yeah.
mean, it's not even just about Tom Brady and their offense. Their special teams is better. Their defense, I think, is better.
Their defense is solid.
So, kind of what I expected, but we talked about enough Patriots, and Scott's not even here, so fuck him.
Yeah.
What else?
I don't know, dude. I mean, for the Redskins, I saw that 3 dudes went out on IR this week.
Damn, really?
So like half the O line is out.
Oh man, So our O line's hurting too, man.
Yeah.
Our O line's hurting. Oh, Chris Johnson retires.
He was playing.
I guess. I think he was. He said he was on, I think, with like Packers or something. I don't know.
Huh.
Let's see.
Interesting.
Let's move on. I guess we can talk about fantasy observations. Is there? How do you? Not about specifically your team, but just the league formats. This whole the voting. You said you had some gripes about. You know, any opinion or thoughts?
I think after listening to David's podcast, I think he was spot on. Like, if you look at this trading format and compare it to like having tariffs, I mean, it's a huge handcuff. Like I had a trade I was trying to make with James. I think it was James, and then I had a trade with Scott that was dependent on that trade going through. It's like you gotta, if the trade with Scott or with the trade with James doesn't go through, I gotta cancel one with Scott and all that shit. It's like, I think we're at
all
the
that
point
work
where
kind of
like,
just goes to waste.
And I think last week you guys, like you and Jungle, were talking about this. Like, the worry is that like you have guys who are gonna make trades that maybe aren't right or whatever. But in my mind, it's like, why is it on the rest of the league to dictate what a good trade and a bad trade is? You know what I mean? Like, if I have the, like, if I was Jungle, right, and I was like, I got that sixth sense, I had that eye test, and I saw this dude's gonna blow up, I'm gonna make this trade for this guy for one of my guys, and everyone else looks at it and like, that's fucking stupid. Like, that's gonna mess everything up. I'm gonna veto it. Like, that trade doesn't go through. But as Jungo, I would be like, I did the eye test. I'm a fucking scout. I see what's gonna happen, and like it doesn't go through, and it just messes things up for me.
And sometimes, like like your example, your situation isn't even perfect. When you've got a record where you kind of need to make some changes, I guess, but you tend to take a little bit more riskier trades, right?
Yeah.
It's like if you're sitting there with freaking like James's record of like 5-2 or whatever it is, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're not gonna make risky moves.
Right.
That's why when he made all those trades, you're just like,
I
why?
didn't understand all that. Yeah.
But if he had if the record was reversed, it was like 2-5. He's like, okay, I need to do something to get myself into a place where I can start winning more. But in that sense, I'm gonna be a little bit more riskier because it's like. Right. All right, if I miss, then what do I have to lose?
I mean, the dudes. I think you'll see that a lot of the guys at the bottom right now are going to be the ones making these like risky trades. Yeah. And if the dude accepts it, I mean, he accepted it. If it was an accident where I think like earlier on in the year, like James is like Edison made some. He like did
I think that was a joke.
Phone.
I think
was that a joke?
I think he didn't want. I think he made the trade. He regret it, and he said that. I don't know.
Hey, you can't make that excuse, James.
Yeah,
that's your fault. But I'm saying like I understand why the rule was put in place, but I don't think like it's not like we're all fucking fantasy gods and we know what's right and what's wrong. You know what I mean? Like everyone has their own team. Everyone's been in the league for a while. Everyone has played football for multiple years. So if someone makes a trade, man, just. I mean, it's less work on Paul. I mean, maybe it means more room for scheming, but
What about if so? Then there was no veto, but I still kind of like this whole trade like announcement, right?
Yeah.
Well, actually, do they do that in Yahoo? Does it say like there's a trade pending between these two or whatever?
I think you can see it, but
I
don't think it announces it and like. Puts out these I mean, maybe it's a setting in Yahoo you can do, but
because I like that. I like it's like, oh, okay, but I think more people are starting to kind of agree or push towards this like no vetoing rule.
Yeah. I think when when Paul put out, I mean, I can't say that like so when Paul put out the vote for like how the veto system should work. In my mind, I was like, whatever. I don't really care. I don't really make that many trades anyway. I just rely on the waiver wire,
Uh-huh.
you know. But then this year, it's like,
A lot of more people were talking.
you can't
a
rely
lot
on the
more
waiver
off-
wire no more because everyone's picking up the same players. It's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
you got to rely on some trades now, and it's like. It's now that looking back on it now, I wish I would have said something earlier. So it's my fault.
That's why I'm
But-
saying. That's why I'm saying this. The not the auction system, but if we had some
That
sort
would
of,
be fun.
yeah, if we had some sort of
Yeah.
like cash thing where
Mhm.
like if you want to pick up people from waiver wires and they require cash, and we could just send a little bit of cash just to make the trades just to be a little bit more like you know.
That would make things super interesting.
Yeah.
That'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah,
I've never done it that way before, but I could see how that would be a lot of fun.
Yeah, and as long as everyone was clear on like how the system worked and
Right.
and the format of it all, which wouldn't be hard. We could just make one podcast episode about it, right?
Yeah.
We could during live draft be like, okay, this is how it's gonna work.
Right.
And if you want to make a trade, you can trade with blah blah blah.
Yeah. That'd be fun.
But that is a discussion to be had
Yeah.
at the end of the season when we talk about future changes of the state of the league, right?
When's that gonna happen? The whole state of the league.
So
thing with Paul.
I guess with the schedule right now, I looked and I think December 4th is the start of playoffs.
All
right.
right.
And then as far as the guests go, I think we still have Scott, we have JB, we have Chite. I think just those three left.
Oh, okay.
Right. So it works out well. We'll get that in before, and then I think we'll have like a
So right before
playoff
playoffs?
episode,
Uh-huh.
right? We'll talk. I guess go over the playoffs, but I think that's probably when we want to start maybe having discussions about like what's next for the thing.
For next year.
And at the end, we'll have a championship episode. Hopefully, we'll get the champion, and then we'll also have Paul.
yeah.
And whatever he ends up or the league decided, we'll kind of make that announcement
Right.
before we break for the off season, right?
Yeah. Sounds good.
And then at that point, everything will be set in stone on who is gonna be getting the trophy and who's getting it engraved
right.
and all that. Where the fuck is my trophy,
Who's engraving it right now?
Paul? Slacking, man. Look at this. Look at this.
Cricket.
I've
Commish, man.
been the
He's
season's
holding that shit
over,
on?
and
Yeah.
I've had my.
You know what he's gonna do is he's banking that he's gonna win this year, and he's gonna hold on to it until the end of the season. He's like, what's the point of giving it to you for like 4 weeks? That's what he's gonna say. He's
Yeah,
like,
wait.
I'll just hold on to it for you.
As long as my shit's engraved, right? I need to be part of this legacy here.
Man.
Yeah. What else? What else we want to talk about? Any particular teams you want to trash talk about?
I mean, I kind of have to agree with a lot of what Juan was saying in his. Like, there aren't a lot of like superstar teams. Like, a lot of the teams in this league, it's average. Some garbage. You look at like. Trying to see like Davidson. I don't understand how his team can be so bad.
Yeah, man.
But it is. I mean, he's just fucking terrible. Like
There
no
are
good.
there are certain some teams that like I think Hooney's team looks really good.
Hooney's team looks okay, but I'm just going off like I think what everyone has said, all the previous guests have said is pretty spot on. Like David's team's just terrible. He needs to make some trades. JV's team, he just makes poor decisions as a manager.
Oh,
I mean,
man,
you look
yeah.
at this, Duke Johnson, he could have easily replaced someone in his lineup, but he didn't. Like Sony Michel.
Yep.
He would. I mean, he won either way, but I'm saying that's just
Well,
poor
do you
management.
think maybe at 2-6 he's just kind of like
I think he says whatever.
yeah. I wonder how that episode's gonna be if he has that. He's like, hey Tover, oh we gotta talk about fantasy. Fuck this.
Yeah. He might be like,
And
oh,
then
I'm busy. I'm gonna see Juan's team. Like, motherfucker was talking about how like he was trying to defend having multiple defenses. I still don't
Yeah.
get it. He
Yeah,
won, so
I
I
get
can't say anything.
Yeah, I don't like that.
But I just don't understand why you need 3 defenses. And like Scott's team, fuck you. Let's see. James, I don't know, man. His team was looking solid, but it's not. I mean, it's not. There's nothing to rave about his team.
Who the hell is Anthony Miller? First of all, second of all,
who's T. Smith? I thought that was Torrey Smith.
No, that's Trayvon
Traquan Smith.
Yeah,
you talking about Trayvon?
No, Trayvon. No, He's the receiver for Chargers, right?
He's on New Orleans on the Saints. That's what I'm saying. No one like who are these guys?
I don't know who he is. Also, did he not have Geronimo Allison? Did he drop him?
I think he was out this week. I think he still had him.
He had some
for some reason he was out. Like the
dude he dropped him and he got Capri Bibbs.
Oh, he dropped him.
Yeah, but I think he has a pretty significant knee injury.
Oh, really?
So, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Man, Malcolm Brown, Kenny Stills,
Rookie of the Year.
Look at all these people. Oh, Benjamin Watson, motherfucker.
I don't know how Jung Ho lost this week. I mean, I can see how Adrian Peterson, like AP. I mean, based on what I didn't watch the game. I have no idea what happened, but it looks like 3 of the O-line went out. So maybe that's why AP had a bad game.
Marvin Jones had a pretty solid.
It's just bad luck, I guess.
I mean, David Seaman is not bad either. Philip Rivers always puts up consistent points, right?
He started.
He got Marvin Jones Jr., which is big with the departure of Golden Tate, right? And then MG3, Melvin Gordon.
Yeah,
so
that's huge.
Oh, and Philip Lindsay. Philip Lindsay is a.
Did you see him get laid out this week?
Yes,
I saw the highlight.
I heard.
He got laid out.
Apparently, did you see the clip of Orlando Brown Jr. laying out James Conner? No, someone else. He like pancaked the dude. It was pretty awesome.
I missed it.
Offensive lineman pancaking is like the best thing in the world. Yeah.
So I mean, none of these teams are like stacked. I mean, I even like Paul Hong's team. He's talking about, like, I messaged him. I was like, "You lucky ass motherfucker," and he was like, "Hey man, I'm consistently putting up numbers." I'm like, "You're getting consistently lucky, and you're lucky that my team was terrible," because like, I'm looking at my team like if my team put up the numbers they put up the last couple weeks, he's just
got solid players, just a couple really really solid players, right? So Todd Gurley, George Kittle is pretty solid, and Matt Ryan, right?
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
And then he'll have a couple like great performances from these 1 or 2 guys, and that's how he wins.
His defense put up 28 fucking points. His fucking I mean, granted, like Chicago, you want any defense playing Buffalo.
Yeah.
But like,
motherfucker picked up Greg Zuerlein too. I don't know. Paul makes me mad. Commish. Cheater. Anyways. What else? Anyone else you want to talk about?
What else is on the agenda?
Well, I think this pretty much is it. I think it's gonna be a pretty, unless something big happens.
There hasn't been much news this week.
Right. It's especially now. It's like the season is starting to. People who are starting to. The bottom dwellers are starting to be like, okay.
Yeah, that's true.
There's that. That's gonna be that.
I'm getting there.
Hang tight.
See.
At least you guys can play for your $10, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is there anything else you want to say to members? You want to put a trade sale bait out there?
I mean, so like I said, Gita, I'm gonna send you a proposal after this podcast is over. I mean, we'll see if it goes through or not, but I think it's a decent trade. I think I'm actually probably getting a little bit of the short end of the stick, but I gotta take my chances right now.
You gotta be risky.
So we'll see. We'll see.
Maybe I'll just automatically approve it.
Hey, I would appreciate that.
So thanks for everyone tuning in. Next week we'll have JB set up, and I'll get all the technical difficulties all worked out. what do you think? Topher talks after this.
That's fine. If you want to talk about something, you got anything?
Well, let's end it with.
There you go. It's coming. The comeback's coming. Just wait for it, baby. Who am I playing next week? I got James.
James?
That's an easy win right there.
Yeah, so Topher does. I don't have anything. The whole point of Topher Talks is it's whatever, open forum.
Yeah.
Well, I guess. What about the whole? Your opinion on the? Oh, you didn't listen to the Topher Talks with Chong.
I missed it.
Well, what about the whole DJ Durkins thing?
I don't know. It's like, so I didn't really read into it that much.
Okay.
So I don't know the details, but I kind of got high level like what happened. You know, it sounds like a freak accident. Like, sounds like.
But what about? Okay, so yes,
I think the university did the right thing at the end.
Okay.
I think they did the right thing. I think they had to do what they had to do. They probably weren't happy with the decision they had to make, but with all the optics on them and like all the media and all that, it's like they had no choice, you know. And I think they did what was right for the university.
And I think there's a fair point to say that. I don't know. Actually, after talking to Chong a little bit, it made me like kind of try to think about it in his perspective a little bit more. And maybe they were genuine in the fact that they really did think that this coach should be brought back. But I think they quickly realized that was a mistake.
Yeah, I think as soon. I mean, that was a huge PR mistake, if anything.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like maybe they truly did believe that the coach wasn't deserving of not being there, whatever. Right. But PR wise, yeah, that was terrible, right? Yeah. And then it shows because, first you have the president that's resigning, and then he goes back on the board and says, you're fired, right? And then the board member, the chair resigns, and you're just like,
yeah.
Wow, people are losing a lot of jobs because of this.
It's a shit show. But I do agree, like, whatever happens here, I mean, the university, they're going to come back. If Penn State could come back from what happened there, like, I mean, they'll come back.
Yeah.
I really think it was just a freak accident. Maybe the coaches pushed them a little too much. Maybe not. I don't know. But, things like this happen every once in a while. It's like, I mean, it doesn't happen all the time, but every once in a while, things like this happen.
Yeah.
When you're playing football, like, especially in this day and age, like, you got, like, guys are so big these days.
Yep.
It's not,
Damn, Tennessee is just lighting up to us.
What's the score right now?
28 to 14.
Oh, shit. All right, let's go, Zeke.
Is he
10 touchdowns. He's putting up numbers, but Paul just got lucky as shit.
Cole Beasley has 2.6 points.
Well, there you go. That's good for you.
This is great. Yeah. Yeah, you should check it out. That Topher Talk went pretty deep, man. It was,
I know. I heard.
Yeah. It makes me kind of want to avoid politics altogether when it comes to just like podcasting. It's just like right now, it's just a very sensitive time.
Everybody has an opinion, man.
A
very strong opinion these days.
Yeah.
But again, I think a lot of it comes down to social media too. Because people that like, you think about like when I talked to Ungta, so we had that conversation.
Right. Well, before we mention anyone else, just know that it's being recorded right now.
Oh, okay. Okay. I mean, this isn't anything. It's just a comment that he made that I was, it kind of, I was like, oh shit, you're right. But like, the whole thing with Kavanaugh, that shit played on the media for weeks, months. It was huge. Media, they trampled all over that shit.
Right.
And then all these people came out. There were protests and all this stuff.
Yep.
After he got inducted into the Supreme Court or whatever. I don't know if inducted is the right word, but
yeah.
nominated, sworn in,
yeah.
whatever. Have you heard his name since then? Hasn't been shit.
Um,
So it's like, where are all those protesters right now? You know, it's like when we talked about it, I was like, that's a good point. You know, like the media plays a huge part in all of this.
But I also think there's a part, and maybe I'm just playing devil's advocate here, but where this is almost a strategy, just constant news and distraction after distraction, right? It's crazy how like things just keep happening with Trump, and it's usually just bad PR, bad rep, right?
I think he brings
like,
that upon himself, though.
But it's like it gets like swept under the rug because it's like the next shocking thing.
That's true,
right?
That's true.
And you're like, wait, let's go back 2 weeks ago when he said that whatever he said, right?
Yeah.
It's like, what happened to that, right?
Yeah.
But it's like the next thing, right? And is it a strategy? I don't know. Maybe it is. That's why maybe Trump is this like brilliant motherfucker that just is an evil person, right? Who knows, right? But
I think it's a little bit of both.
Man, it's a very, very weird and scary world.
It is a scary world. Definitely.
Actually, do you know if California is more like that, or is that more volatile here?
So I remember going out to I have family out in California. You know, I have very educated brother-in-laws, sister-in-laws in California. When Obama was president, I bet even if you asked him now, who is the vice president of the United States?
No.
They had no idea.
Oh, really?
Yeah. When Obama was president, I don't know about when Trump's president now, but if you they don't listen to politics. You know, that's not out there. It's all about Silicon Valley. It's all about the new tech coming around. It's all about Hollywood. The news, if you listen to NPR out there, it's not the same NPR that you listen to here.
That's crazy.
All about
because it's like maddening. Here.
Yeah,
it's like maddening.
Before I would listen to NPR every morning, and now it's like I can't even listen to this shit anymore.
And it's depressing. You know, it's like you're just like, man, we live in a shitty world.
Yeah.
You know, and especially as parents, you're just like,
right.
What the fuck did I do bringing the child into this world, right?
All you can hope is that they bring about some change in all this craziness.
Man.
But yeah, man, it's being Californians. I don't think they pay attention to all this as much.
They just smoke weed and enjoy
they're
life.
Just happy, man. They're just a bunch of hippies.
Like Canada,
yeah,
right? Canadians, man.
Exactly.
Just smoke a joint, eh? Chill out, eh? Fuck Trump, eh?
Yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But we'll see. I mean, tomorrow's voting day.
Yeah. Big day, man.
I have no idea who I would. I mean, you see all the ads, but I'm still torn.
I will say for Hogan being a Republican, I like what he's done.
I like Hogan, yeah.
And I think he's a great leader. Yeah, and again, this, don't stone me because, I support. But it's like, this is our issue. It's like it's like everything's so divisive. It's like you can't have an opinion that overlaps with other thing, otherwise you're considered this. And
man. These days, if you say if you are a Republican, people are gonna give you that look.
Yeah. Man, I really want to get your mic on, just maybe with Ted, just like this. It would be so fun.
I mean that would be a fun conversation. I think there would be a lot of eyebrows raised, but I don't know. I've talked to him about these sort of politics and stuff.
Yeah, Mike.
Oh, Mike.
Yeah. Oh, you're talking about okay.
I mean, for anyone who knows my cousin Mike or follows him on Facebook, you already know his political views.
Oh man,
it's obvious.
He's like his own freelancing CNN.
Yeah, for sure.
And I don't mean that in any kind of negative way, but he's
there's
pretty,
no question what he supports, what he does. And with Ungte, I didn't really. I kind of had an idea, but we've talked about things, and I can't say that I disagree with everything he has to say. Things that he says, I'm like, you're right. I mean, I don't want to get too political here. I don't want to like. Yeah, that's next John. But yeah, we'll see what happens after tomorrow.
Yeah.
So,
all right, Chris. Thanks for coming on, man.
Thanks for having me. It's a great setup.
Thank you, sir. Man, I really did want Scott on there. I think it would have been really.
It would have been fun. Like he has a lot of good things to say, even though they're stupid. But
yeah, I just think it would be great because people don't really know him, except for just a handful of us,
you can hear the nonsense that comes out of his mouth.
Yeah. And I think since I last seen him, he got married.
He's married now. He's got a dog.
I actually I don't know if I don't think I'm friends with his wife. I think it's just because I'm friends with him on Facebook, and she mentioned him. But like, she said something about like the Boston Red Sox advanced to World Series, which means I get to hear Scott scream for another like 2 weeks. I was like, typical Scott.
Yeah,
Scott.
I'm glad it's just over now. I was really hoping the Dodgers could pull it out, but
yeah, man.
Maybe next year.
Oh man, don't let for me. There's no like baseball for like the next 10 years because the Orioles can be just
we're screwed.
Yeah. All right. Let's wrap it up then.
All right, man. Good luck, y'all bitches. Hey, G-Ted, look out for a message from me.